Skip it up and that up. Okay, so this is a little update on the new format. I've been getting a lot of questions ever since I put out that teaser trailer as to Rich, you know, you're back at gameplay now. You showed that teaser trailer. When is this new format gonna officially be here? And it's gonna come in slowly. It's gonna ebb and flow in. This weekend, we're gonna work on filming some videos, and over time, you're going to see more and more real live footage and less gameplay. I would say the transition's probably going to take about a couple weeks, maybe a few days more, maybe a few days less. I don't want to give a solid date because every single time I do that, something happens and then I don't follow through on my promise because something happened and then I get called out for it for years on end. So it's coming. Believe me, we've been working on it for months. We already have videos planned and lined up, and news is eventually going to be delivered in that format too. So when you see it is when it's here. I'll leave it at that. So this is a video I wanted to make thanking somebody because I feel I'm just as guilty of it as anybody else. It's human nature that the only time we discuss something publicly and write a review or talk about something, whether it be on the news or make a video or even just write a review online, is if we're angry or frustrated. And when someone does a good job or a company does a good job, we never talk about it because, okay, oh, we're happy, we're satisfied, we got what we wanted, and, you know, that's it. But when we're frustrated, we'll definitely vent about it and make it a public deal. And I think that's kind of wrong. I'm just as guilty of it too. And for once, I want to thank someone for doing a great job and make a video about someone actually doing a great job because it's well deserved. So let me explain the story as to what happened and how GameStop employees were awesome to me. So as you guys know, I have a Nintendo Switch. I think it's a great system. And a few days ago, I was using it and I dropped it. I just was like, look, this was my fault, okay? I'm not throwing any shade at Nintendo. I'm not, oh, they make a poorly designed product. No, I dropped it on a hardwood floor, and 99% of any electronics out there, if they took the fall the Switch took, would have broke as well. It didn't have any kind of cosmetic damage. Like if I showed it to you, it would have looked fine. But after I picked it up and tried to use the gamepad or the Switch Pro controller wirelessly, like if I had the Joy-Cons attached to the Switch, they would connect. But after it dropped, anytime I tried to use a wireless controller with the Switch, whether it be with the Joy-Cons and the grip or using the Pro controller, they wouldn't stay connected. Something happened when I dropped it. And again, it's not any fault of Nintendo's. It's not a quality control issue. I dropped it. I damaged the console. It's no one's fault but my own. Now, side note, luckily I bought the replacement warranty on my Nintendo Switch from GameStop. This needs to be said. Yes, it depends on which company you buy a replacement warranty from, but I've bought them from places like Best Buy and GameStop. And let me tell you something, at least from those two companies, it's worth every penny to buy the 2-year replacement warranty or 1-year replacement, because every time I had to use it, I just get a new system. I just get a new whatever I purchase. If I purchase a smartphone and there was an issue with it, they just give me a new one. It's fantastic. It drives me insane when I see like news stories on TV. They're like, oh, don't buy the replacement warranties. They're all a sham. And I'm like, no, they're not. I could prove to you from my own experiences that some of those warranties are great and have saved me hundreds upon hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars. So what are you talking about? Why? Because you went to one retail store and their replacement warranty was terrible. What about the 8 billion other ones that may have a great replacement warranty? Again, this video is in no way, shape, or form sponsored by GameStop or anything like that. I'm just saying I've bought those warranties and they have saved me many times, and they saved me with my Nintendo Switch. If I didn't have this replacement warranty, I broke the system, I would have to go out and buy a new one. And because I bought that warranty and spent the extra $30 or whatever it was, it saved me over $260 and kept me from having to deal with the headache of sending my Switch out to Nintendo, and maybe they wouldn't actually fix it without me paying because they would open it up and so it was damaged, or having to fork over a straight up $300 for a new Nintendo Switch. Again, I'll shut up now about it. I'm just saying, think about those extended warranties or replacement plans. They have saved me so many times. I can't even express to you how much I endorse them, and I'm not getting paid to endorse them. Anyway, side rant on purchasing warranty plans and replacement plans done. So, okay, I go into GameStop. They have Switches there I could replace mine with. I bought the warranty. Yeah, you know, that's nothing special. That's their job. You know, that's part of why you bought the replacement plan. They're supposed to replace it if you have it. But here's where they went the extra mile. Okay. And then the guys at this GameStop are always great to me there. And here's the thing. I forgot as I walked into the store that, oh crap, I bought a bunch of games, downloadable titles on my Nintendo Switch. I don't want to lose them. I totally forgot about that. So, I'm like, oh crap, what do I do? They sat there with me. They looked up online how to deactivate your Nintendo Switch, how to transfer the games, how to properly reinitialize the system, which that was fairly easy. You just go into the settings and there's a way you could wipe all the data from the console. But they made sure that that system was deactivated. They did the research. They sat there with me to make sure I did it properly. They helped me set up my new Switch. They even helped me put on a new screen protector, a tempered glass screen protector. And I even asked them, hey, do you have any SNES Classics in stock? And they're like, no, well, we'll take your phone number down, though, to make sure when we get one, we'll call you right away so you can come pick one up. And they probably sat there with me for 20 minutes doing all this. And there was, and they were still helping other customers. They didn't ignore anyone else. They were multitasking like crazy. And it wasn't that it was a slow time. I even apologized. I'm like, look, man, I'm sorry about this. I totally forgot about getting my other games off the system, which was my own fault. I should have remembered that. And they were totally nice about it. And they didn't have to be. They were going well above and beyond what they're expected to do there. And that to me was amazing. Now, I've gotten this in the comment section before, and I don't want anyone to think that I feel like I'm anything special. But people have said to me, oh, Rich, the reason that people at GameStop are nice to you is because they know you do a YouTube channel, blah, 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 blah. And yes, they do there. They do at that GameStop know that I have a YouTube channel. But I know from personal experience before I even shop there, from other people, from my fiance, for example, before she even met me, she would go shopping there and she would say, oh, they're great. And my fiance didn't even know who I was yet, and they were nice to her there. So there are just good people there. Now, why did I want to make this video? Is because I see, whether it be comments on Facebook or in real life too, where, oh my God, GameStop employees, that company sucks so bad. The employees annoy me and they upsell me on all these different things and it drives me insane. That's not the employee's fault. That's the corporation's fault. That's GameStop's fault. That's not them giving you crappy customer service. They just have no choice but to do that. That's always the way retail has been, too. I remember the company is gone now. I used to work there for like the end of high school and a little bit of college. It was a clothing store called Filene's. It was a clothing store similar to Macy's. I think Macy's maybe bought them out when they went bankrupt or whatever. I don't know. I don't care. And I used to work there, and the big thing when you work there, constantly management, whether it was the general store manager or the department manager, they always wanted you to try to sell credit cards. You had to badger people and like borderline harass them to get these credit cards. And it was the most annoying thing. And if you sold like a certain amount of them, you would get a whopping $5. Like there was virtually no incentive to do it. And if you didn't do it, you would get written up and you would get disciplined. And even if you were offering it by the book exactly how they wanted you to, but people just weren't interested, the amount of pressure they would put on you is incredible. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is that unfortunately, that's just how retailers are. It's not believe me, I assure you, unless they're commissioned and they're getting good commission, the employees there don't want to badger you about, oh, upsell this and buy this warranty and buy this and buy that. They don't want to do that. They're being forced to do that. So you can't look at the employee and say, oh, that's a reflection of you, because it's not a reflection of them. They don't want to do that. They have to do that. It's a reflection of the company that they work for. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. And I think it's human nature for us to label the employees as the bad person when they have no control over what they have to try to sell you. And hell, there are some places I know that are worse than what Filene's was, where you would try to have to, sell a credit card and badger people to buy protection plans and all this other stuff. And there was no incentive. At least Filene's, they give you a terrible incentive of a few bucks for every few credit cards that you open. Other places are like, oh, you didn't open set amount of, credit cards this month? we're just going to fire you. That's the incentive. You stay employed if you sell as many credit cards or open up as many credit cards as we tell you. That's the only incentive. You get nothing else. Too damn bad. So the point I'm trying to make in this video is this. I know GameStop has some terrible policies and they do some pretty crappy things as a corporation. Like, for example, how they had this bleeding heart a few years ago say, we love our employees, that's why we're giving them Thanksgiving off. And then a few years later, they completely changed their tune saying, oh yeah, remember that whole thing about how we loved our employees and we want them to be with their family on Thanksgiving? Yeah, we were kind of kidding about that. We're hemorrhaging money now because our business model is becoming irrelevant. So we're going to be open on Thanksgiving again and we're going to pretend our employees actually want to be there on Thanksgiving. Haha. So yeah, GameStop has done some pretty terrible things, but I just want you to remember this. And this just doesn't go for GameStop. It goes for any retail store that you walk into or any business that you walk into. You may not like the company, you may not like the corporation, but it doesn't mean that the people that are helping you out in that store or in that business are bad people. Most times they actually aren't. They're great people and they just want to help you out. And they're there because they need to support themselves or need to support their family. So all I ask is don't blindly judge them because of who they work for. And to the GameStop employees yesterday who gave me fantastic customer service, thank you so much. You did a hell of a job. This is Rich, Review Tech USA, signing out. Have a good one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. And to hear more content like this, make sure to subscribe to Review Tech USA.